Look at our 7.12 worksheet on factoring. These are the basic ones with factoring, or the differences of two squares. So when I'm saying the basic ones, if it's a trinomial, three terms, it's going to start with x squared. So when that happens, you just have to think of what are factors of negative 21, two numbers that multiply to 21, negative 21 that add to 4. So since it must be negative 21, one factor must be positive, one must be negative. In this case, since I want positive 4, 7 would be positive, negative 3 would be, or 3 would be negative. Multiply to negative 21, they add to 4. So if you were to FOIL it, you would get x squared plus 4x minus 21. On the second one, factors of 10. So two numbers that multiply to 10 that add to 7. So that would be 5 and 2. On number 3, this is the differences of perfect squares. So notice how there's no middle term. So since there's no middle term, the thought process is, what are factors of negative 9 that add up to 0? Well, one has to be positive, one has to be negative, and they have to be opposite numbers of each other since they have to add to 0. So we get x plus 3, x minus 3. On the next one, factors of 64 that add up to 16. So as we think about what two numbers add to 16, multiply to 64, 8 times 8 is 64, 8 plus 8 is 16. Next one, we have factors of negative 14 that add to positive 5. So x plus 7, x minus 2. Multiply negative 14, they add to 5. Next one, factors of negative 42 that add to positive 1. So the factors only differ by 1. Again, it has to be plus minus since it's negative 42. It's going to be positive 7 minus 6. Oh, sorry about that jump. Continuing on, factors of 11 that add up to 12. Well, there's only two factors of 11, and that is 1 and 11. They so happen to add to 12. Number 8, factors of negative 40 that add up to 6. So we have x and x. Now, we got a bunch of them, but one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. The negative is going to be the bigger one since 6 is negative. If I go negative 10, positive 4, that multiplies to negative 40, adds to negative 6. Number 9, this one's a tricky one, trying to trick you, because in order for you to do difference of perfect squares, this must be negative. It's not, so this one has no solution, or can't be factorable, not factorable. Okay. Number 10. Now you have the minus, so I think about what two numbers which are the same multiply to 144. Well, that's positive 12, negative 12. They need to be opposites, so you have the middles canceling out. Notice how you have no middle terms. All right, number 11 now has 9x squared minus 1. Still, this is a perfect square. It just happens to be 3x and 3x. Because the square root of 9 is 3. Then square root of 1 is positive 1, negative 1. Number 12, factors of 18 that add up to 11. Well, it's not 1 and 18. Is it 2 and 9? Yes. Those add up to it. All right, let's flip to the back side. Factors of 12 that add up to negative 8. Since it adds up to a negative, both factors have to be negative, because two negative numbers multiply together make it positive. Well, the only two numbers that multiply to add to negative 8, that multiply together to give you 12 that add to negative 8 is negative 2 and negative 6. All right, next one. Factors of negative 44. So I know it's going to be plus minus, that add up to 7. 11 and 4. X squared minus 25. Both are perfect squares, so x plus 5, x minus 5. Next one, x squared minus 13x minus 30. So I need to think of two numbers that multiply to 30 that add to negative 13. Minus 3 and minus 10, both are negative. Next one, x squared minus 4x minus 32. Well, two factors of negative 32 that add up to negative 4 would be x minus 8, x plus 4. Number 8, factors of negative 8 that add to negative 7. Well, negative 8 and positive 1. Last two here, factors of 4 that add to 4. Well, it's actually x plus 2, x plus 2. You multiply to 4 and add to 4. The last one, 4x to the 4th minus 25. So, when I look at this, this is actually a perfect square. 2x squared, 2x squared. We have plus 5, minus 5. This is not a perfect square, so I am finished. All right, that ends your assignment today.